Welcome back. As of April last year, the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation has donated over 5,000 boats to children in coastal communities. Now, this, along with other infrastructure projects, aims to improve access to education.
Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation's president and co-founder Dr. Anton Lim himself joins us tonight to discuss how government and the private sector can work together to give more Filipino children access to quality education. Doc Anton, I know you didn't swim here. From
I took the
You took the bangka. And I know that you're planning on breaching the world record on putting yellow boats on paper or displaying them, and this is happening next year. How are you going to do this?
Okay. We're going to invite schools to join us, especially here in Metro Manila. We have supporters here, we have corporate sponsors who would like to attempt to break the world record, which is 230,000 paper boats displayed. This was set in 2014 in Athens.
Well, that's quite some time ago now.
That's some time ago. So we're planning this for a year, and we hope that everybody can join us. This is both to bring awareness.
One boat from you.
Sure.
Just to bring awareness to the plight of far-flung schools and also public schools out there in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas.
Okay, step back first.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about breaking a world record with yellow boats. What's the significance of those yellow boats? And tell us more about what the Yellow Boat of Hope Foundation is.
Well, the Yellow Boat of Hope was established primarily when my co-founder, J.O. Abuneta, came across news about kids having to swim to go to school.
So I remember this time. We were all very young then.
Yes.
I remember this news item.
Yes, and actually when we first heard it, we were like, oh, this cannot be true, because at this age, no kids in Metro Manila, they skip school to go swimming, but not swim to go to school. But when we found out about that story, we went there and we saw for ourselves kids literally swimming, smaller ones, and the big ones, they actually wade in water. So even if it's okay for them to swim to school, it's not right. So we thought of building them boats. That's why we brought the concept of school bus, yellow school bus on water. That's why it's Yellow Boat of Hope. So we hope that we hope to address this difficulty in access by giving them boats.
Now, it started with boats. It started with yellow boats. And this was what, 13, 14 years
14
ago?
years ago.
How has the foundation evolved from just supplying yellow boats or giving yellow boats to children?
From just physical access to school, now we're into ensuring that they finish school. So it's whether it's going to be a dormitory, a classroom, so it's bringing education nearer to where they're at, because especially in GIDA areas, access to education is very hard. Like especially if you're in an island and the high school is on the next island. So it's either you go around or you stop schooling. The next phase there, after grade 6, most of the women, the girls, they get married because there's nothing much more to do after that. But when we gave them the boat, now they have a means of transportation to go to the main island. Now a lot of them have continued school. They're in high school. And for the mothers who married early, they went into this program with Government Alternative Learning System, ALS. And now they're college graduate. So
I saw stories of the mothers being classmates with their kids and graduating. I cried.
And that goes to show, because education is the only way out of poverty, really. And if you give that to them, you're not only helping one individual, but you're actually helping a whole family. And for communities outside, these are faceless, voiceless communities because of their geography. Even 5, 10, or 15 students, it's enough to really inject life, give back hope to that people in that community. The impact is huge. That's why it's very important that we act as a ecosystem builder to direct aid to those communities. Probably they don't need, not all of them need boats, but they would need some classrooms. We think that we should be building more extension schools.
Yeah.
We have to
We
bring
should be.
this school to them instead of asking them to swim or even hike
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours one way just to get an education. So that's what Yellow Boat has been doing, and we were very thankful that we have corporations, foundations who see that and are helping us achieve that.
I was going to ask about that. How much help is the private sector providing? Is this going to be sustainable? And but the better question would be, is there going to be a time when this is no longer needed? Meaning the system has already done what it's supposed to do.
How I wish that is the case. When we started with one boat, we thought after that one boat we were
That's
done
it.
with the
So it
community.
was just a small project.
Yes, it was a small
initially.
project. So we thought that's it after one boat. But here we are after 5,000 boats. 14 years after, we still get emails, we still get Facebook messages asking for boats. And now we have inspired even Indonesia to follow us. And we now have a sister
Wow.
foundation there, a Yellow Boat of Hope Indonesia, and they have the same problem. They have the same problem, and they're learning from us, and yet we're still have not scratched the surface.
Can I do a follow-up question?
Sure.
Meaning, this is close to my heart because you know that during COVID, the Rotary Club of San Juan gave a yellow boat to a remote island, and we went there during COVID. We drove all the way. We saw the kids. I interviewed the
In
children
Polillo.
in Polillo.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing experience, and I hope that more people will be able to do the same. But I'm still hoping that there will be time where,
It's
the
not
schools
needed.
are near the kids and that they don't need this anymore. Which brings me to my question. What is your assessment now of the system? Why is there still a great need for this, and what can be done?
We're not short of heroes. We have teachers willing to teach in far-flung areas. We know that from hearing a lot of news of teachers going out, but there are no facilities. We have extension teachers writing to us asking for a makeshift classroom.
Yeah.
Because they're tired of building those, setting up tents or teaching under a mango tree. So can you give us a starter classroom? They're not asking for much. It's just a simple classroom wherein the kids will have a good environment to learn. And we hope that more corporations would see that need and help us. And it's not really just, the problem is not just here in Metro Manila or in urban areas. Out there,
Far-flung
the
areas.
problem is magnified.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would ask us, why do you have to travel for hours just to help these people when right in your backyard there are people who needs help. But
Right.
These kids in the far-flung area needs more help than kids in the urban area, simply because there's more people here helping them.
Doc Anton, where is the government in this? And even the local government,
Yes.
aside
Yeah.
from the national government who should be putting up the schools.
Actually, they're doing their best. I would like to think about that, but it's not enough. That's why we need a whole of nation approach. If you think that you can do something, just go ahead, work with government, work with private sector, work with the community, because there's not a short of heroes in the community. Once you build, they will come, kids will come, even the parents would come to get an education. And these are our future workforce. These are our future citizens, our future leaders. Just imagine if we have a workforce that cannot read, write,
Yeah.
or even count. So that's the problem that we're going to have. And I know of the fact that here in Metro Manila, employers have started complaining about getting workers from the countryside who can barely read and write. And if we don't do something about this, this is just gonna be magnified in the very near future.
For companies who may be watching right now, what kind of help can they extend to the Yellow Boat of
Like
Hope
how
Foundation?
expensive is one boat?
Well, yes, give us the financial assistance they can give us, but beyond that as well.
Yeah,
What else?
okay. What is important is for them to realize that areas outside of Metro Manila, outside the urban areas, need more help. And they should pool their resources in helping those community. It's a simple, in areas where it's small, it's very easy to create an impact. Like a boat that costs about 15,000. 15,000, we spend that in one meal in Metro Manila.
Right.
But if you turn that 15,000 into a boat, it can educate
Generations.
about five kids, and that 5 kids will impact their family and their community. So that is magnified, and the small things in far-flung areas creates the biggest impact. Just give them hope, just give them attention, just listen to them. You'll be amazed at what the community can do. Sometimes as little as a notebook or a pen can inspire a kid to continue education.
I just realized the huge disparity between the budget of the DepEd and 15,000 pesos in a boat. I mean, you're the reason why we got into that because you're friends with Jill Habinyar, who said, okay, maybe we can do this project. The question is now, you talked about companies here finding it hard to get workers from the provinces. What are the other new challenges that are being faced by the entire system that could be a bigger problem in the future?
Well, it's really the learning loss after the pandemic. That's really the biggest problem that we hear. Also, to compound that, there seem to be a lot of kids that are now stunted or severely stunted. So when you're hungry, what kind of education would you get? So we're now going to feeding because that's very needed also. It's way out of our mandate, but we need to do that because, again, our mission now is to ensure that kids finish school. So how can they finish school if they're hungry or not healthy?
Yeah.
So that's why we have partnered with foundations to go into feeding, a 6 months feeding program, just to ensure that they will not be stunted and their IQ will not be affected.
Doc Anton, the stunting problem is becoming a huge epidemic in the country, right? And after 5 years of age, if you're not able to address that, it cannot be reversed.
It's permanent.
And it's not just stunting like height; it's the brain.
You find it at yourself.
It's the brain, right?
Yeah, it's the brain.
Yes.
It's the brain. Not only that, and their chances of finishing school or get graduating is affected also. So that's why we have to address that too. And even government cannot do that alone. We need everybody's help. And we're not short of volunteers. As long as we provide them with the resources, the logistics, and they're there. The parents will volunteer. The teachers will work extra hours just to make sure that their kids will get the nutrition that they deserve. And also the education. That is really important for our country to move forward.
There's a program listed in the number of activities that you do in communities and helping out. That's the Teach Anywhere teacher, or is it the Teach Anywhere program? I want you to talk about that, but also I'm curious about the system that it does. It's the teaching at the right level approach. Why is that important to you?
It's very important because our partner here is AHA Learning Center. Jayton Sulweta is very committed to this program. What it does is segregate kids according to the learning level, not grade, not age. Because Jayton was saying, if the kid cannot read alphabets, asking him to read a sentence is short of torture for the kids. And what it does to the self-esteem is really to discourage the kids. But if you group them into words, sentence or paragraph, then they grow at the right level. This method was shared to us by Pratham educational foundation. It's one of the biggest foundation in India, and we're doing that. And we've been doing on several areas, in far-flung areas. Now we want to go to BARM because we realize BARM needs it really badly.
And what's your assessment of that kind of approach?
It's very successful. For the past 8 months that we'll be doing it, the reading and math level went from barely addition to subtraction to division in a couple of months, like 2 months of intensive coaching. And what is important here to do is that they are segregated according to their skill level. So kids are more responsive to that because they don't feel that ang bobo-bobo ko naman.
Yeah.
They feel that, okay, all of us are in the same level.
Yeah.
And one thing nice about the teach at the right level is that it's in the form of games.
No.
Kids don't know that they're already learning. And it's very cheap. For counting, they use leaves, they use twigs, they use games. So they don't know that they're learning. And if you do that 1 hour every day for 2 months, you can go to the right level already. So
That's amazing.
That's amazing. And what AHA did, Jayton did, was to localize this so that A will not be apple, but A will be ampalaya.
Thank God.
Yeah, and it's more, and it's if you're in Sulu, then A will mean something, probably something that the kids can identify.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
can
very
relate to.
easy for them to learn.
That's
Okay.
great. I mean, we could talk more about this. But thank you so much for all that you're
Thank you
doing.
very much for
Thank
giving
you.
us this opportunity, and we hope that everybody can join us and let's help the far-flung areas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Doc Anton.
That's your Business Outlook. I'm Ron Cruz.
And I'm Salve Duplito. The World Tonight comes your way at the top of the next hour. Keep it here on ANC.